I'm going to show you a set of BMW N54 MMP turbo upgrades that had a problem. This is the rear of the cage. This pin goes in here to prevent the cage from moving. The pin fell out while in operation, and as a result, the whole cage shifted back this way. That caused this area right here to wear out. You can see how the seal is supposed to fit in there and how much wear was caused by that. I measured it with the normal area where it's supposed to be, and I got 4 thousandths, so it should be 4 thousandths, but you can tell that's worn out by about 20. I don't know if that will work or not. I would replace this turbine if I could, but it's going to have to be custom made because it's not something that exists other than for this turbo. This seal will sit up against the backside of this, so I wonder if it will still leak. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to have to ask this guy if he wants me to try to rebuild these anyway and just risk maybe it working or not working. Otherwise, he probably needs to either buy another set, or I might have to have some parts custom made, which is going to take quite a bit of time. You can see on the bearing housing where this had worn. You could tell right here where the whole bearing cage had shifted back, and it caused a little bit of a burr right there. You can also see where somebody had an installation error right there. That's what it looks like, trying to put it in. But the main issue that I see out of these, and it's not the first time, is that the pin will fall out of them. Either they didn't press it in there far enough, or this knurl right here is not compressing down into the housing and locking itself in like it's supposed to. On normal ball bearing turbos, they have a feed fitting that goes over top of it and it retains the pin in, so it can't fall out even if the knurl didn't hold it. Some of the things I didn't like about this, I mean, you can see how much they punched all over it trying to make it restrictive. These, I know this has been debatable. Well, on my turbo, on my car, I don't have a restrictor at all. See, you can't put a restrictor in here very easily, so they punched on it to try to restrict it. I prefer to not have a restrictor at all, even on the ball bearing turbos. And my car runs fine like that. It doesn't leak any oil as a result of that. I know some people say you need a restrictor. I'm not running one in my car. It's been fine for the last 15,000 miles. I don't really like the way they did this. It looks like they tried to make it so it would press in or something, and that didn't work. It seemed like it worked for one turbo, but not the other. To fix these, I need to replace that turbine shaft, possibly make new pins for it. I have the original ball bearing pins, so I could take the original ball bearing pins and then just resize them because these are much shorter. They have to be shorter the way this was designed. What I need to know from the customer is, do you want me to try to rebuild this even though I don't know 100% if that's going to work, or have me look into trying to get new turbines made for that? Here's the other turbine. This one actually wasn't that bad. If you look closely, you could see it was a little bit worn. I don't know if that would matter or not. It's best to have it as square as possible, but when I was measuring some other models like the Garrett 7.3 and possibly even the 6262, the TO4E stuff, I noticed that the piston ring seal gap between the walls was actually 7 thousandths. I don't know if that's right or not. I just like the way that Holset did them, 2.5 thousandths. I've actually seen some that were even 2 thousandths. I think the closer and tighter the better. So I just want to let you know that both of them are worn. This one's not worn as bad. The point I'm trying to make with all this is that even if I put a new seal in there, it might still leak because of that wear. With this seal, it's going to butt up against the backside. I wonder if it will still seal that way. I always assumed that because it had the bigger gap there that they always wouldn't seal. But I think there is a possibility that maybe it still would seal. I've never tried it before. I've always replaced the turbine because if it had that problem, because I had them available. But in this case, I have a turbine that I can't replace. These are custom made turbines for this. You can see they're just straight. There's like no real inducer on them. There's only an exducer.